everyone, this is Sean Butner with Start Your Day with the Coach, where we help you find more joy, growth, and impact in your life so you can live the life that you really want. Now, today we're talking about how to not let frustration keep you from progressing forward, because if you look around in 2020, there is tons of things to be frustrated about, economically, socially, pandemically. I just created that word. So, with all these things going on, and wherever you sit on any of those issues, one thing is constant, right? There is a lot of frustration out there. And when we're frustrated, when we're angry, when we're fearful, we sometimes act impulsively. And that impulse, if not slowed down, if not thought of, is this really going to help me move forward, or is it going to make things worse, or just add on to the frustration and repeat the cycle, is something we should be thinking about. We think about the marshmallow study. The kids that are sat at a table, they put a marshmallow on the middle of the table, and they say, hey, if you don't eat that marshmallow, you'll get 2 later. And then they leave for like 15 minutes, and some kids impulsively go and eat that marshmallow and then get sad when they don't get the second one. Some other kids are able to slow it down, distract themselves, and when they get back, they get 2 marshmallows, which is awesome, right? So that's the kind of thing that we're talking about today, that impulse, especially when we have that strong emotional thing. Because I'm not sure about you, but in my career, I've had to deal with people that screamed at me, people that are very underhanded, people that are just kind of jerks. And there are tons and tons of those types of folks out there. So you have some real emotions, right? You have some real frustrations that are out there. But, if you can handle it in a way that's graceful, in a way that shows leadership, in a way that helps further your goals, your projects, and the things you're going after, or you could lash out, destroy relationships, make things harder for everyone around you, and ultimately hurt the progress of the things you're going after. So, I could list a bunch of different examples, but there's one time when I was working for Walmart corporate. I went over to Japan, to Yosai. No, not Yosai. That's the... Anyways, Walmart Japan. I was there. I was the first person from the team that I was representing to go over in over a year. And there's a lot of pent-up frustration on their part. And so for 2 weeks, I was the punching bag for this group. Just being dismissed, saying that I didn't know stuff, being cut off. Generally, like, super rude, which is kind of weird. Especially in the whole role I was there was to help assist and clear things up and figure out what was really going on. And so I could have lashed out in a foreign country with these strangers, and I don't understand the culture, or I could meet it with grace, and I could say, you know what? And what I ended up doing is, like, they're frustrated, they're taking it out on me, I guess that's my role, so don't get upset over it, right? It's not all right, but you can't let it get to you. And ultimately, at the end of that, after tons of examples, I pulled one of the main folks that was very aggressive in this context and was like, hey, I know you don't really like me, and I'm still here to help, was the essential message. And it shifted that. I was like, I remember, like, I sat down and they were like, yeah, I get it. I felt really bad, but I didn't know how to get out of this. Thanks for talking to me. And we moved forward. I was able to go back and inform the home office of all the things that were kind of going on there and some of the frustrations. We were able to change some things to help out everyone. So that's kind of the power of it. So what do you do in those situations where it's high stakes, high pressure, high anxiety, so that you don't go and act out of impulse? Well, first thing I'm going to suggest is to take a beat, right, from music. You take a rest, take some reflection time, take a step away, and try to figure out, okay, is this really about me? Is this really how I'm seeing it? Am I kind of misconstruing it? Because a lot of times, if you can give people the benefit of the doubt through a simple reflection, that can help change how you show up in that interaction. So, like, when I was over in the Japanese market, I was able to say, you know what, I am just the representation of all the people that I represented. I wasn't even on that team back at the home office. I was doing a favor for somebody. So, okay, like this is just how it is, right? So I can, with that knowledge that like, okay, they're frustrated at them and not me, but I'm just the person here that they can yell at. I was able to shift how when those things would come up in meetings or whatnot to be like, okay, like, don't need to freak out. Second thing to do is to focus on the best outcome, right? Like what's really going to turn the dial here? What's really going to be the best course of action? Because sometimes in the moment, like yelling back or, really coming down hard on somebody or doing something out of spite to hurt them, these are things that, we have all sorts of books and poems and human art on this act of feeling, dignified revenge, justified revenge on slights. But if you can get past that and think like, what's really going to serve the team? What's really going to serve the organization? What's really going to serve my family? Dealing with the kid that's really yelling or, acting out. What's the best outcome that's going to serve everyone the most? That will help you say like maybe, screaming at the top of my lungs or flipping over the table or whatever it is not the best course of action in this moment. Which leads me to my third point, which is to just focus on your best self and your best self's response, right? You know when you've been activated, when you're ready to boil over. And so this exercise of like, if my most kind, my most happy, my most confident self were to come in from the future, be like, hey, this is what you do, what would that person say? Can sometimes get you off of that hot rail of emotion where you're going to explode. So, for example, if you're feeling like you just want to give up because it doesn't matter and, you don't feel appreciated in your work or organization or relationship, sometimes the best response is to not just throw your hands up and let things happen. It's to actually have that conversation to say, hey, you know what? Things need to change. But in a way that is thoughtful and will reach the other person. So I hope that makes sense. Final point, guys, is to enlist help if you need it, right? If it's possible. Sometimes, like, if you're dealing with a very difficult person, either at work or hopefully not at home, but at home, you need some backup. You need someone to bounce ideas off of, to say, hey, like, I'm really struggling with this. What would you do in this situation? Or how can we kind of bring this up in a way that's going to shift behavior? Because sometimes you need that to happen. So it could be reaching out to a manager. It could be reaching out to some coworkers. It could be, HR. It could be, other family members, whatever your situation is, to help kind of just brainstorm, help give you a check. Because sometimes if you're caught up in the frustration of the moment too, it's really hard to suss out, like, am I thinking clearly? Is this going to play out the way that I think? Am I kind of going overboard? That kind of stuff. So, okay. I hope you liked these 4 points, which are, again, to take a beat. It's to focus on the best outcome, focus on your best self and best response, and then enlist help as needed, if needed. So, if you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed these 4 quick points on how maybe you can overcome frustration or the frustrations going on in your life, I want to let you guys know that in about a week now, we have the Take Charge Challenge. So if you feel like your frustration's gotten you flat-footed and you need a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of a way forward, again, to, take charge to start progressing again in a meaningful way with some extra support, check out the link in my bio or below this video on the Take Charge Challenge because it's 12 amazing speakers. I'm one of them, covering 12 different topics. It's 12 hours worth of content. And the hourly rate for average for all the folks is $500. So that's $6,000 worth of coaching and bonuses and all sorts of good stuff for like less than $50. So super good deal. And I really hope you'll take us up on it. It will close in about a week too. So you want to jump on it now while you can. So you don't forget. And you'll get follow-up emails and stuff too if you sign up. So check out the Take Charge Challenge and the link below or in my profile links. And hope to see you there. All right, folks. Take care. See you tomorrow. Go forth and live with more joy, personal growth, and impact in your communities so you can live the life you want. All right. Take care, guys.